Hey guys, welcome in to Who's Your Main. Hope you're having a good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am Anthony, one half of the two-man Who's Your Main co-production. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, yes. And I am Jared, the other
Wow.
half.
So professional.
Yes. Yes. Very professional. We were just having a different conversation, and I was like, we better hit the fucking record button before we use up all the good bits. We were sidetracked, though, into Dungeons and Dragons, but what we want to talk about today is I want to wrap up anything I want to say about Tears of the Kingdom today. I finally finished that, and I will be playing that again in the future. It's something I didn't say about Breath of the Wild, and I tried to play it again. I really did. And I was like, man, fuck this. Give me that bucket zone ice shits. And I know you're still working through Red Dead, and I was sitting there like looking at my copy of Red Dead for PS4 because I just got that thing hooked all back up again. I was like, maybe I want to join the Hat Wars.
Yes.
Give me a nice hat. I want a nice hat. I'm thinking about a nice hat.
Definitely got some interesting stories to tell from the last time that we did a recording about not just the Hat Wars, but the entirety of my expansive time in Chapter 2 of Red Dead Redemption. All 120 hours of it.
How many chapters are in that game?
So there's 6 chapters in the game and then 2 epilogue chapters.
So you still have 600 hours. So you got 400 hours left to play.
Yeah, I'm about a quarter of the way through. Yeah.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think about that. You were cracking me up because you were like, I just got fast travel unlocked, and you're like 120 hours, and I was like, dude, I feel like I did something very similar in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I didn't start upgrading my battery until then. And that's kind of like the fast travel. I mean, there is fast travel. You can teleport to the shrines, but being able to build that fan bike and actually use it instead of just having to set it down every, like, I don't know how long that one battery lasts, but I got 2 and then I had 3 and then I had 4, 5, 6 batteries. And I was like, holy fuck, I can do whatever I want now. And I feel like that you and I hit that same like precipice of I can do a lot of stuff now. And it's like, well, how many hours do you got? You're like, what, 20 hours in? At 100.
Sort of. I think you and I are very similar also in the sense of, you know, we are both playing an open world game.
Yeah.
And I think this really started back when I was really getting into like Fallout 4 and modding Fallout 4 and all of that stuff. But the idea of like not using fast travel and physically going to the places where you need to go, and that really kind of changed how I view open world games, where if the option is there to fast travel. So for instance, in the game, before I unlocked the real fast travel where I can literally just like teleport to where I want to go. Now, granted, that's not how it works mechanically in the game, but you could, there was the carriage, much like the Skyrim carriage. You could go to whatever town you wanted to go to. And then there were trains, so you could go to whatever town you wanted to go to. So I've had fast travel options and I just wasn't using them. And I think you were having a very similar experience where you were talking about you liked your bike, but you felt like you were missing out on some of the things that were happening on the ground. I love that. I love the idea of fully saturating yourself in the open world. And then it's like, oh man, you know, once you hit that barrier, that wall of like, oh man, that's going to take forever to get over there. And then it's like, oh yeah, fast travel. And then it's like the second half of the game opens up where it's like, now you no longer have to worry about that aspect. You've progressed past that point where it's safe to fast travel and you feel comfortable using it. And then you can focus on the other stuff. And I think that's really where you and I love the open world design of games is kind of fully squeezing the rock until it bleeds. And then once that stops, then you can switch it over to the other hand and make the other hand bleed.
Exactly. I gotta say that, like, for the open world thing, you and I can get lost in every little tiny little system that may come up because we want to explore that little tiny system and see where it goes. And I think that's why we may not say that we play lots of open world games, but you just said, oh, look at Fallout. And then you think that we had just played New Vegas, and I really liked Oblivion, and I really liked Skyrim, and I really liked Morrowind. Like, we played a bunch of open world games prior to this, but these games are more expansive versions, I guess. I don't know. That's debatable. But with like Tears of the Kingdom, my only problem was, and this happens in open world games too, the other ones that we mentioned, was like leveling up. And like surface level, you think that there's no level up system happening in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. But every time you kill a monster, you get an invisible experience points gain. And every time you level up, which you can't see, well, you can see, it's just when you're looking at the monsters that you're facing. The monsters slowly get stronger and stronger the more you kill things. So as long as you don't kill anything, then they'll all stay like, you know, red bokoblins, blue bokoblins. But I was like 100 hours in, and I hadn't even started to mess around with the Zonai fucking build mechanics to make like machines of death. And all the enemies were max levels. So when I was having to tune my death machines, it was for like maximum damage. So if there was a red bokoblin there, and I'm just now experimenting with like death machines, that thing died immediately. And I'm like, whoa, he's dead. And then I was like, oh shit, I could have been doing this the whole game. Ah, man, I missed out. And then I just felt really bad, like I'd missed out because I had focused on this other aspect of the game for 100 hours. I was like, oh, fuck. I just want to start over and be at the beginning. You know, the beginning of an open world game is some of the most interesting things that can happen. But I guess that's why they're replayable, right? Is because you're like, oh, now I have this game knowledge and I can apply it to the beginning of the game instead of just the end.
Yeah, that's the trap that you and I think, fall into all the time is like, oh, I'll start all over of this, 100-hour expansive world. I'll start all over because now I know what to do and I'll do it correctly this time. Yeah. And then, and then that cycle just repeats over and over and over and over again as we play these open world games. And that's the trap that I think you and I fall into. It doesn't matter what the game is. That's just how we like to play these games, which is like you get to a certain point and you go like, oh, I wonder what kind of builds other people are doing. Or, like you were talking about your death machines. I know you were trying to stay relatively spoiler free, at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. Like I was watching the progression of you going from, okay, I can build this kind of speeder bike thing and that's cool. Well, how do I master it? And, or, like, can I put fans on the bottom or batteries on the bottom or whatever? And then that progresses into, well, how do I build, a Gundam that kills all of my enemies and has a turret? And I want to build heavy arms Gundam. How do I do that?
I wish that system is incredible. The build mechanics are incredible. I want to see it expanded upon because there's a certain spoiler that I'm not going to say if you've not played it that you get that adds like buttons, like control buttons, but it's not a machine that you can build, but it's something that you get into and drive. And you get like a left button, a right button, and then a top button for like doing different things on top of being able to drive this thing. And I wish that they could have done that with the regular machines. Like anything you attach to here, you can activate if you press the L button. So that way I could be in charge of when the turrets kick on. Like that would be be sick. Or like not just like for doing damage, but also for like building machines that can turn in the air. Like have one that like it goes up and then has like a back propulsion and then has like a turn propulsion. Like that would be really fun to control a machine that you build. It's just had so much of this like that going on, and it was just really fun to put parts together and see how they would work. By the end, I was just making suicide machines that were killing me. And I was laughing hysterically. The last thing I made, I was trying to make a flying machine that launched rockets off of it, but instead the rockets would activate and then pull me into the bad guys. So then I just put a bunch of bombs on that side, and then it would pull me in and explode me and the bad guys, and I would go flying. Dude, I hit the ground. It was like a monster camp, like a big one in front of this huge gate. And I hit the ground to hit him with it. And it launched me up and over the gate. I landed in the woods behind the gate and I was in tears laughing. I was like, okay, let's do it again. and I loaded it back up so that you auto build it back together. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it again. I got in it and I didn't see a beehive there. And the fucking rocket fired at the beehive and launched it to a tree and fucking exploded and landed in the river. I was dying. I thought it was so funny. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest game I've ever played. What are you playing? Oh, I think it's Zelda. I don't know what's happening.
I love the idea also of, it's like Zelda and Ganondorf have their Triforce powers, and it's like, oh, I'm power and I'm knowledge, and then it's like, Link the swordsman, what did you learn in your quest? And it's like, hey, and then it's just this giant death machine that comes out of nowhere,
fucking blasts into the wall and explodes. I did it.
He's a maroon.
What a maroon. I gotta say, the last battle. This is not really a spoiler. Because it's a Zelda game and we all know who the last boss is. But the last boss, I'm not going to say it just in case. But I'm doing the last boss and it's a sword fight section. And I should have practiced more against certain enemies. I'd practiced against almost every kind of enemy in the game. Gliak's no trouble. Lionel's no trouble. Like Hinox's, Frox's, whatever the fuck. Anything, I could just fight it and have a good time. I knew how to cheese them. I knew how to build a machine that would kill him, and it was really fun. And the last fight, I'm just fucking getting backhanded. I'm getting backhanded around the arena. And so I get pissed off that I'm getting backhanded because I suck at fucking parry mechanics. Okay, folks, I'm really fucking bad at them. And I'm like, fuck this, dude. And so I fucking dropped a bunch of fucking beams, beam emitters, and 2 fucking homing heads and a stake. And I built a 6-pulse beam emitter while I'm fighting Ganon, while I'm fighting the guy, and it's blasting him in the back while he's backhanding me across the arena, and I'm winning.
He's like, stop it.
And I'm like, auto build, builds another one, he breaks it, auto builds another one. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna win?
I love that. I love it. That idea is so so on brand for how you and I would fight the in-game boss, where it's like, a battle of skill, I see. We should probably cheat.
Yeah, I start to try to parry, and he's like, I'm like, I'm losing. I get up off the floor after he's backhanding me 4 times. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I've had it with this shit. He's like, what are you going to do now? I'm like, and he's like, uh-oh. I thought it was amazing that it let me do it. I was like, are you shitting me right now? This is so fucking cool. I gotta use this power against him, bro. This is awesome. If this was Final Fantasy, they would have blocked out. I wouldn't be able to use blind or poison or death. And in this game, they're like, fucking make it 12. Why are you doing 6 only? I only had 6 left. Or I would have put more on there. The build limit's 20 or something. I can't remember. You can have 20 parts connected, and then it's you can't connect anymore. And I'm trying to put another cannon on there. Come on, just let me get it on. Link, stop. You're the good guy.
I love the idea of you're going through your Rolodex of strategy, and it's I tried attacking vertically, I tried attacking horizontally, and then it's well, time to move on to death lasers.
Death lasers it is.
Yeah. Shame.
I just I was like, oh boy, it's a sword fight. This is going to be great. I'm going to parry him, and then I'm going to hit him in the fucking face. I'm going to use my 2-hander and spin, And he was like, bap, bap. Fucking, I'm like, okay, that's a little blood. That's a lot of blood. All right, I'd like to see you try that bap.
Oof. My God.
Okay, that was a lucky shot. Yeah. I'm very good at parrying. You've never seen me fight a Lionel. And he's like, bap. I was just waiting for you to wake up and then join the channel and be like, I knew it.
Yeah.
Let me see that shit. I knew it. It was like me playing Hanzo.
Yeah,
It's basic geometry, miss.
Whoops.
Oh, fuck. I got a lot of comments about Tears of the Kingdom, but I think we might save that for a different episode or something. But there was like one final thought I was having about just like talking about builds. You were talking about builds before we were getting in the chat. I'm sure you want to talk about some Red Dead builds, but there's tons of ways to play Tears of the Kingdom, and it's just like their level up system where it's like kind of hidden, but you can totally play like a stealth build and just be total stealth archer in Tears of the Kingdom. You could use puff mushrooms to create a smoke cloud and then just use your bow and then attach different fucking high damage items that do different things. Or you can make this really fucking heinous insta-killer weapon where you take a pristine 8-fold blade and attach a Molduga Molduga jaw to it, and then get the bone proficiency from either the glowing wrestling armor or the Phantom Ganem armor. Why would you wear that over the wrestling armor? I don't know. And so you get that bone proficiency, and then you eat a food that gives you +3 damage, and you will fucking one-shot everything with sneak strikes. It is crazy. I was like, this is insanely powerful. And then you can make Lionel backbreakers that do like big fucking damage. You could just carry two-handers and spin all day. You can carry one-handers and try to parry, do parry builds, or you could just like let them hit your shield and then hit them afterwards. Like there's so many ways that you could play both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think there's more because in Tears of the Kingdom, you can kind of lean more into the magic, or you can lean into the fucking machinist shit like I was just telling you. And I was like, fuck this. I make a nuclear bomb and kill us both.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Obviously, the mechanics of that game are right in our wheelhouse. I love the idea of being able to customize your character, play the way you want to play. If you want to be the guy that's got the two-handed big bonk, you can be that. If you want to be the sneak guy, you can be that. That's awesome. I kind of ruined your surprise because you were waiting to show me that stuff, and you opened up your inventory, and I like a bloodhound, I snapped to the luchador mask, and I was like, what is that? That's a luchador mask. And you're like, well, I was saving that as a little teaser. But yeah, I love the idea of being able to, obviously we've talked about this before, but I would love some level ups and some feats and a skill tree where you can really customize down that line, and you're not so dependent on the food and the gear, and it's much more about Link being the person doing this stuff. But I still think that's really cool that that's available.
Yeah, like it's still there. Like all the customization options are there, and they really are intended to all be engaged in like all the time, like swapping between things. I think I probably, I don't know. I was going to say I probably swap more than most people, and I'm like,
It's just so cumbersome to do. Opening up the menu, and then it's like, okay, you swap each piece of gear. Because I saw you do it when you had to get in on your cold gear. And it's like, okay, so you have to, go into your menu, swap all of your gear, and then that normally requires you to swap over your sword and shield and bow and all that stuff to match your new stuff. And then if you have to take new food buffs, from what and you can correct me on this, but it's like you have to like fill your hand with food to craft the food, and then it's like, okay, and then you do the little crafting animation, and then you have your food, and then you can eat the food, and it's like, I just want to get the buff, man. Like, just give me the buff.
I mean, that just takes me over. Like, there's a couple of things that I think Nintendo, or maybe their teams they're not proficient at, because obviously it happens in other games, but then they're trying to like innovate it and do it in their way. So like Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think are great examples of this, where they're like, look, we made this sweet ass like crafting system, but it's so cumbersome and it's so tedious. They just add so many steps to this like crafting system, and that you have to engage in. I mean, you don't have to, I guess, but for really great healing items and really great food buffs, like you want to engage in it. And at least in Tears of the Kingdom, they put a recipe fucking book in. So as you discover recipes, you can click on a food item and see what you've made with it before. And then you can like hit the copy button, and then Link will fill his hands with everything that you made that recipe with, which is nice. But previously you had to like write them down or memorize them or keep that tab open. And I'm just like, ugh. Like there's a lot of like criticisms I could have about it and about this game in comparison to other games in the genre. And I would love to see them expand upon this now that I've seen them fix it up. And I know a lot of people who there's a huge controversy between, well, just Breath of the Wild and Zelda, like old Zelda fans, and then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom people. And it's just a mess, you know, and it's just like, look, this could be better. It's great. Okay. Both games are great. I don't really care to play Breath of the Wild a second time, but I would definitely play this one a second time because there's just so much more I feel like I can do. And there's so much, and I like the story a little bit better. Not that Nintendo's really proficient at storytelling. And oh boy, did I have some comments about the voice actor choices. I was just like, God, man. And I tried to switch it to a different language, and it was like, it's not better. I can't believe it's not better. I can't believe it's not at least different. Like, what the fuck are we doing? They just don't know. They don't know. They lost all their pizzazz and flair from the 90s, maybe. Or maybe I'm nostalgic for the 90s. Somebody would lambaste me, I'm sure. But I got a lot of comments there. But what I want to talk about is you were talking about them builds with your Red Dead stuff. I've kind of gone on a tangent with mine. I wanted to know what more about this this shotgun thing that you were talking about.
Well, so I've gone completely off the rails. The same thing you did, which is as soon as you get into the chapter where you can essentially open up the open world, I immediately took off and I just started doing all of the collection quests and all of the gear that I had. I wanted to maximize it and get it maxed out. And so I got the Legend of the West satchel, which lets me have unlimited carry capacity for everything. I went out and collected all of the Pokemon cards. There's these cigarette cards that every time you smoke a pack of cigarettes, you get a card. I went out and got all of those. I went out and did all of the hunting quests, got all of the best crafting materials and all of that stuff, and then went out and did all of the collection stuff. So I got a boatload of money, boatload of gold bars and all of that stuff. So I've done everything there is to do extracurricular in the game, essentially. And so what that opens up is you can now kind of specialize in what you want to be good at by upgrading your gear. And so the build for me, without a question, is 2 pistols. I love that playstyle. There is a sniper kind of a sniper rifle, and you can kind of play that way. I don't prefer that in this game, in a third-person game like this, even though that's normally where I kind of really hone in and find my attraction to. But yeah, the one you were talking about is you can customize your shells in your guns and your bows and your throwables as well. But you can customize your shells, and then there's a repeating shotgun. And so I got the Dragon's Breath flaming shells and went into this gang hideout and started blasting. And I was like, oh man, this is right up your alley, where you're just boom, boom. And there's this giant flame of fire coming out, and the enemies, their morale breaks when they see that, and they turn and run, and you're just sitting there going like, yeah, go on, get, yeah, boom, boom. And I was like, this is how you would want to be playing for sure. But the build that I immediately gravitated to was kind of the Fallout style VATS system, where you enter bullet time and then you just click on heads, or the way that I normally do it is I click on their weapon and I disarm them, and then they're like, whoa, easy, mister, and it's like, yeah, that's what I thought. And then I just spin my pistols around and put them back in my holsters. It's like, you come for the king, you best not miss. But I like that game is so insane in all of the different systems that it has. like just take something as simple as having a horse, right? In most games, you have a horse. The horse follows you around. That's your horse. In this game, you can buy a horse, or you can go out into the wild and you can capture a wild horse and break it and build up its affinity for you, and then you have that horse. There's also a mechanic where you have all of its bridle and saddle and all of that stuff can be customized, which have their own stats. And then on top of that, you have kind of these hidden mechanics where it's like you have a horse's style. Are they a workhorse? Are they a war horse? Are they a race horse? Are they a hybrid of those two? Or are they a legendary horse, which has all three? Then there's the, like the speed, the acceleration, and the health and stamina of the horse. Like, that's just the horses. And there's all of this stuff that you can do to build up and maximize your horse. And then you can do the exact same thing with every single system in the game. It's just so crazy the amount of stuff that it allows you to do. And then on top of all of that, there's an incredible story, incredible voice acting. It's just an outstanding game that completely blew me away. Much like you, I don't know how we managed to do this. You found a game where you love the core mechanics, but the thing that you hate most, the parry mechanic, is in your game. The thing that I hate most, mash mechanics, is somehow in my game that I also found. I don't know why games force this on you. It's like, oh, if somebody grabs you, mash the button and you'll get out of it. I don't know why I'm bad at that. I can never get out of it fast enough, and then I die, and it's like, well, if we would have been in a gunfight, I would have been fine, but then somebody grabs me, and now all of a sudden I'm a puss, and I can't get them off of me.
Yeah. Yeah, the bad guy's always like, parry this, you filthy casual. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, boy, face tank it. Ooh, I just opened my arms.
Yeah, well, this is the end.
Dog. As soon as they grab you and they're like, mash the button so I don't stab you in the chest, you're like, just do it.
Just fucking do it.
I don't even care. Yeah, I totally forgot that you pointed that out, that both of us met our one mechanic that we're like, what the fuck are you doing here? How come every time I have a problem, it's one of you two?
Yeah. There's just been so many incredible moments in the game where, obviously you want to share the story of Red Dead, but there's so many things that like are unique to me that have happened where just me being in my crazy psychosis of making a storyline for everything. You had mentioned the hat wars. So essentially what happens is you have a hat on your character, but if anything happens where you get like jostled, so like let's say you're riding your horse and somebody attacks you and you dodge out of the way, your hat can fall off. Or if you're in a really heated firefight and you dive into cover, your hat can fall off. You get in a fist fight, your hat can fall off. There's just all of these situations where your hat can fall off, and I keep losing my hat, and it's a nice hat. And so then it's like, well, I'll take a hat off of the battlefield, whatever I can find, but it doesn't match my outfit. It looks ridiculous. I've got this big, stupid, floppy hat. And it's like, okay, well, now I need to find a better one. So then you'll be riding along, and there's some guy with this sick-looking hat, and it's like, hey, mister, you wanna duel real quick? And then you just take the hat off of him. So, yeah, it like the hat wars was a thing. There was this whole storyline about this guy who got bit by a snake. And Arthur comes over and sucks the venom out of his leg. I found him again, and he got bit again in the woods. And Arthur sees him, and he's like, oh no, we're not doing this again. And he's like, please, you gotta help me, I'm gonna die. And Arthur's like, you get one more chance. If I find you one more time, I'm shooting you in the head myself. and like, I love the idea of Arthur being this like, not that he's a white knight by any means. He does terrible things in the game. But like, I'm playing him as a good character, which I think is the canon way to play him. But he's so begrudgingly good, and it's so like close to how I play all of my characters in like D&D, or anytime that I'm allowed to make my guy, that's who I am. It's like I'm a villain who just so happens to be doing the right thing. You know, I'm Megamind. In every game that I play, I'm Megamind. And Arthur Morgan is the ultimate version of that. There was a scene where I walked into a bar, and there's these not random events, there's these static events where you find strangers and you have to help them. And it was this traveling circus, and they were in a bar. One of the magicians had ran away. He didn't want to be a part of the circus act anymore. He ran away into the woods, and so the rest of the group was kind of in this bar drinking. And the ringleader is this woman. She's trying to corral everybody in, and there's this big giant oaf at the bar, and he's drinking shots of drinking brandy shots, and he's like, delicious, another. And the bartender pours him a shot, delicious, another. And she's like, will you stop drinking? And the bartender turns around to like go help somebody else, and the oaf grabs the bottle and just starts chugging the bottle. And she's like, all right, somebody stop him. He can't drink. He's a giant. He'll be uncontrollable. And so Arthur grabs him by the shoulder and is like, hey, put it down, mister. And that starts a bar fight. You get into this fight with this giant man. And, it ends with you knocking him down to the ground, and he starts crying, and the woman comes over, and it's like, I told you should be drinking. And Arthur turns to chastise the bartender, and he's like, you got to be more careful about who you serve drinks to. Go ahead and get me a beer while you're back there.
Yeah,
just that lack of awareness for anything that he's doing, and those like quick, witty, snappy jokes. I love that stuff, man. That's right up my alley.
You're right. You do play characters like that. Megamind was always the best example of that. I've killed the bad guy. I've killed the good guy. What do I do?
Yeah.
I guess I will get another good guy to clean this town up.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me.
You're not doing it right. This is how you be a villain.
Presentation.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Well, and that's the other thing. So I'm 120 hours in. I have all of the money in the world. I have all of the best gear, but I was still in like the starting clothes. And there's this really cool kind of background system where your beard and your hair grows naturally as you play. And I had just been like letting it go because I was like, I don't care about that stuff. And there's a quest where you go and talk to your ex-wife. And it's very clear that Arthur still has feelings for this woman, and like he's repressing that. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to get all gussied up. I'm going to go into town. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to get some nice clothes. I'm going to cut my hair, get a nice shave, go talk to my ex-wife. And so I'm like dressed to the nines, go talk to this woman, and, pomade in my hair, slicked back, looking good, looking clean. And she's talking about like, oh yeah, in another life, maybe we could have been together. And I was like, oh, you woman, and then it's like, Arthur's all depressed, and that ruined his day. So then I was like, you know what, Arthur, I'm going to take you to the casino. We're going to do a little gambling. I'm going to get you some smokes. I'm going to get you a stogie. I'm going to cheer you up, buddy. Like I'm feeling like this emotional connection, it's like we tried our best to get all cleaned up, and it didn't work, and it didn't win her over. And so it's like, that's okay. Come on, buddy. We'll drink away our problems. We'll go to the blackjack table and double down.
Double down. I forgot about double down.
As soon as I saw that in the game, I was like, oh, Melon was here.
He's a blackjack player, not a good one.
Yeah, with a big iron on his head.
Big iron on his head. Got spurs. They jingle, jingle, jingle. My kids sing that now, by the way. Good.
Yeah.
I love that game. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I think these two games were just what we wanted and needed. But I have been eyeballing my copy of Red Dead. But, obviously what I've been doing is playing Pokopia.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another fucking major addiction for me, is Pokemon. And then, like, life simming, but you can build whatever you want. But this is like a goal-oriented one where there's like a story mode. And so I can't stop playing it. Once I start playing it, like it's really hard to stop because it'll be like, oh, there's just 5 more minutes. Oh, I just run over there and do that real quick. Oh, I still need to do that. I better go do that real quick. Oh, what? What do you want, Squirtle? What? Oh, you want me to build you a fucking seesaw or something? I'll get right on that right now. As a matter of fact, like it's constantly, it like hit me right in the Minecraft vein, And I've just got some more powers unlocked, which I feel like I shouldn't talk about some of that stuff. I feel like
spoilers, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of spoiler. I don't think about that stuff as spoilers, but I've really been thinking about that because I didn't really look up anything for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I didn't look at anything about that game anyway because I was like, I don't want to play it. I'm not going to buy it. I think Zelda's out of my wheelhouse now, and I was doing some self-reflection recently, and I was like, I better play it. And then I was like, I've turned this new leaf. It's an Animal Crossing joke. I turned this new leaf where I don't look up stuff while I'm playing a game for the first time. I just play it because otherwise I'll min-max that playthrough. And I will go into wikis. I will go into like, all right, let me just see every single piece of gear for that slot. Let me just go and read every stat block that there is there. And then I will find the build that is what I want, And for Pokopia, like, I feel like looking up anything will immediately spoil the story because I don't know what's going on in this world, this version of Pokemon. It's a spin-off, but it's set in some kind of time period where all the humans are gone and you're playing as a Ditto that was somebody's Pokemon. And you've recreated yourself in their image. And now you're trying to help other Pokemon figure out what's going on. And it's just a wonderful game. It's just like, if you're into like building stuff and helping little guys, just like helping them, like nothing bad has happened. There's no fighting. There's no monsters. It's not like Minecraft where a creeper's going to come up and blow your house up or something. And then there's just like these mystical events that can happen where something flies over and drops something really like not powerful, just like, what is it for? I just discovered maybe it's the only use for this item that I kept finding, but I finally found the use for it, and it was like deep in this like exploded volcano, and I was like, this is amazing. This is so cool. And like some of the locations are straight out of Pokemon, and I'm just like, whoa, that was in red and blue. That's in red and blue. And I'm like, oh. And then there's like, you find notes from humans that are gone, and that's really interesting. I don't know. I'm sunk into Pokopia. That's like what I'm playing right now as I lament my passing of Tears of the Kingdom, which I would spend another hour talking about, though, by the way.
Oh yeah, we definitely are going to do. I think we definitely owe it to do a deep dive of Tears of the Kingdom and also Red Dead. But you're right. I mean, you and I both get into this thing where we just try to linger. And you talked about it before, where it's like, oh, I'll start a new playthrough, and then ease myself out of it. And I think with this, you have found moving on to the next game has helped you move on from Tears of the Kingdom. But the one thing I wanted to say about Pokopia, I think it does two things that really get someone like you and I, which is, I know the original 151 Pokemon have been, brought back to death by Pokemon for good reason. The casual gamer is like, I have a visceral reaction when I see one of the original Pokemon, because I'm like, when I was in elementary school, that was my jam. I loved the original games, and so seeing them in a 3D space walking around, that's huge. That's a big thing. That's a big deal for me. And so seeing them do stuff and interact, and they're playing and they have wants and needs, that's cool. That is like aimed right at us. And the person that I originally watched playing it was Foxy, and watching her play without that nostalgia, and her seeing guys and being like, oh, she's attracted to maybe this guy who, I didn't know who it was because it was one of the new ones. I think that's cool too, where you can have kind of that blend, that handshake of you don't need to know what Pokemon are to have fun in this game, because the second part of the game that I think is really cool is the Animal Crossing aspect of it, where it's like somebody will come up and they'll be like, hey, we need street lights, or hey, I need the one that you showed me that I thought was really cool and really kind of technically impressive was, I think it was Torkoal came up to you and was like, hey, I need a path to get from where I am to the exit. And it was like, build whatever you want, but I need to get out of here. And then you had to build like these ramps and stairs, and then it kind of auto-pathed its way out of there. I thought that was incredibly impressive that it was able to do that.
And that's not, I've only scratched the surface of all the like different little systems there are. There's electricity that you can wire stuff. And I think there's things that happen. There's buttons that you can add. It's just like fucking Minecraft, where there's like, probably not as deep as Minecraft's redstone and switches and everything that you can do in Minecraft, but I think it's still going to be really fucking cool. And talking about the Pokemon and seeing them and Foxy's reactions, it's been a very wonderful delight to watch someone who's never played Pokemon, doesn't really look at Pokemon, and is kind of discovering it for the first time. And that magic, it's like my daughter and my son, and then Foxy, who's a much older gamer, she's about our age, and she's just having like a wonderful time. And that right there, it's like, wow, dude, like that's it. That's what got me right there. What you're experiencing playing this game is the reason I love this series, and I love Pokemon. And I think is a lot of reason why everybody does. But I have to add this anecdote about Pokopia, because it's really cool. Not only do they have like a really great way that the Pokemon express themselves, like they make the sound effects from the original game, essentially. They don't say their name. They're making like the Squirtle sound effect cry from Red and Blue or whatever game they came from. They're not saying their name like in the show. And there's different like cadences of that, it pitches up or down depending on their mood or what they're talking about. But I just got Venusaur today, and I'm like looking at this Venusaur, and it's moving all around, and I'm like, this might be the best look that Venusaur has ever had. And I've only really seen the small Pokemon, and I'm starting to get like the bigger ones. Like Machoke looks really great. And I was like, wow, he looks so cool. But when I saw Venusaur today, I was like, fuck, he looks incredible. Like, look at how he's moving. Like, you don't see Pokemon like jumping. He's like jumping around like a frog, and moving around the environment. And you're just like, fuck, dude, that's all we wanted right there.
Exactly.
This is what we wanted as Pokemon people. Like, we want to see these Mons in there because you're rebuilding habitats, and you're just like, you're doing the biology part of Pokemon, the biologist part of Pokemon, which is studying them and helping them and understanding them. And that's really what it's about, like getting interested in living things, and how they live. And like, it's just like, this is such a fucking banger of a game. Like, what the fuck? Koei Tecmo, folks.
Yeah. I think the thing that impressed me, so much like you, I tried to give the gift of Pokemon to my niece, where it's like, you introduce this game and it's like, this was really special to me. I really like these games. See if you like it. See if it hooks you the way that it hooked me. Because she really likes Minecraft. And I'm like, okay, you're already at the baseline level of being a gamer. See if you like this. This is a game that I enjoy. See if you enjoy it. And she had a reaction that you perfectly described, which is she didn't understand battling and catching the Pokemon. And she was like, well, that's not nice. You're putting that big Pokemon in that small ball. And I was trying to explain to her, like, well, they turn into a laser, and then, when they go in there, it's like a computer, and like, you're trying to explain that stuff to her. She doesn't get that. But with Pokopia, there is none of that. You're not battling these Pokemon. You're not catching these Pokemon. They show up and they're living in a house. And so there's not that kind of, not that, Pokemon battling is inherently evil or anything like that, but there isn't that kind of like explanation period of, well, this is your rival and you have to beat him because you guys are friends and friends should compete and all that. There is none of that. There is no competing. You're helping your friends build houses, or like Charmander goes around and uses fire, and now you can light up a kiln or a furnace.
Right.
The fighting Pokemon can help you build stuff. You're using them for something that they are already naturally good at, and most of the time you can tell using context clues, like, oh, that guy's really big and strong. I bet he can move stuff. And so I think there's kind of that natural handshake there of Pokemon are inherently memorable and likable and fun. And I think they are, geared towards kids, obviously. So now you have a game that is much more social and much more about the social aspect of it rather than the competitive side of it. And I think that's going to apply to a lot more people. Our generation obviously grew up on the original series. This is just more of that. It's like when we got Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Coliseum, or what was Pokemon Stadium, the first one. But you have all of that extra stuff that we didn't get with the original games. It's like, I want that. I want more stuff for Pokemon.
Yeah, that life sim, that's what's really been missing from Pokemon. And I think to put it into a term that like you and I would understand is basically all those other Pokemon games, Red and Blue up to Scarlet and Violet. Those are sports games.
Yes. Yeah.
You're competing in a sport called Pokemon battling. And I think it's illustrated very well in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet that this is like a sport that you get good at from practicing and working in tandem with the Pokemon. It's a very physical sport for both you and the Pokemon. And like, not everybody wants to play a sports game. And so they're like, well, what about taking care of them? Like the Tamagotchis or some shit. Yeah. Well, I want that. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that, Animal Crossing was already such a good game in the sense of you attract the villagers that you want, right? If you don't like who's there, not that you're being mean, but you ship them off and a new villager comes in. My understanding of Pokopia is it's exactly the same thing. If you like the original 151, have them be there. If you like the newer ones, have them be there. If you don't like those guys, whatever, if you don't have an emotional attachment to them or whatever, you just don't do their quests. And so I'm right there with you. I think they have nailed that perfect handshake of, the Pokemon universe itself already has a lot of mystery and a lot of intrigue and a lot of stories to tell. And then you mix that with the social aspect of Animal Crossing. I don't understand how that can't be a game where you pour hundreds of hours into it and, maybe you set it down for a little while, but constantly come back to it and do new things in it.
Yeah. I could replay this game a lot of times. I think this is easily an 1,000-hour game that I will play until I'm just like, I've done everything and I'm like, okay, I could put it down for a little bit, I guess. They just nailed it. It's so fun, so much fun to discover everything. It'll be more fun, I think, once I know everything and if I play through it again. I'm sure that you could just keep playing after you get to the end of the story. And they do have, I haven't really engaged in the multiplayer too much. I did do a little bit of the game share with a Switch 1 with my kids. But I'd like to see what the multiplayer entails. So I'll probably have to link up with Foxy and see what we can do. But I kind of need to catch up to her in the story. And we're having to tiptoe around like, oh yeah, I'm doing this thing, and I'm like, I'm a grown man, let me see it. Let me see the fucking spoiler. Because for years, man, I'm like a recovering Pokemon spoiler leak addict. Like, I was just like, let me see the spoiler, and my eyes are just like, oh, wow. And then I would get to the game, and then it would be spoiled, so I was like not as excited about the new Pokemon. And now I'm just like, dude, I don't want to see the final evolution of a Pokemon. They're like, well, how will you know if you like it? I'm like, I'm gonna like it. There's not a Pokemon that exists that I'm just like, I hate that mon. I hate its design. I hate the way it looks. I don't like anything about it. I like every Pokemon. Some of them I like a little bit more. than others. Looking at you, Berserker and Torkoal. You guys are my bros.
Yeah.
Okay. But every the other Pokemon, like if they're like, you can't have Berserker or Torkoal, I'm like, okay, who do I get? And they're like, you get to have Trubbish. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. He's a trash. He's a little trash bag. I love him. Or, it could be the ones that people are like, the design is so boring. Here's Dewgong. He's a seal. I'm like, give him to me.
Yeah.
I hug him. We hug together.
Look at his fat belly. I love him. That's the like saying or the meme or whatever of like every Pokemon is somebody's favorite Pokemon.
Yes.
And I didn't believe that because I was like, I genuinely have some that I'm like, I hold them in such high regard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody loves these. This is everybody's favorite Pokemon because everybody loves these. And then you go to talk to somebody and they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't really care for that one, but I like this one. And
You're like,
what?
Grab him by the neck.
You disrespect my boy?
Haluja!
You look at him. You look at my son.
Submission! Haluja, submission on him!
Yeah. Seismic toss now.
Seismic toss! Seismic toss him! Right now! Your Halucha flies in. It's the shiny one, so it looks evil.
Yeah, the black one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't have Incineroar on your team, too. You should.
I did on my wrestling team.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Incineroar was my starter.
Did you take a Machamp as your other? Yeah, that's a fucking conversation, folks.
Yeah, I had him. I had, I can't remember her name. She was was it Lopunny?
Lopunny. Did you have Sarita?
I had, which one is she?
She's
is she
like
the green grass fighting?
Yeah, like does kicks, moves.
Yeah. I had her.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think that makes
sense.
Who my sixth person was. I don't remember.
I can't think of who you. Oh, maybe did you have Hariyama? He's like a sumo guy.
No.
What about
I don't
Throw?
know. I'll
Throw?
look at it and we'll report in for the next episode. I love the idea of building I stole the idea from you.
Theme teams, folks.
Theme teams, yeah. Building a theme team is awesome. It's so fun.
That's not optimal. Shut the fuck up.
You don't need type advantage to win. It's a kid's game. If you're losing, you're the problem.
Yeah, level up. I took a Mareep, folks, and I gave it an Everstone. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. I took a Mareep. It's a little sheep, okay? And normally you take Pokemon and they evolve, and when they evolve, they get stronger. Stat-wise, moves-wise, everything. But I was going to play through Scarlet again because my daughter was playing through Violet for the first time. And so I'm playing through Scarlet. And I'm like, I need more challenge here. The gyms are boring as fuck. Like, I'm just going to come in and trash them if I use a team that I want to. So I grabbed a Mareep and a Spewpaw, threw Everstones on them, and fuck, did battles get so hard. Most of the battle was like, how do I keep them alive without just cheesing it with healing items? And it was very difficult. And then them also still be useful. And I was like, this is way more fun. I'm starting to understand the Nuzlocke because I think Nuzlocke is it's too close to fucking roguelite and roguelike. And I don't like that. I don't like my progress to be fucking reset. I just want to keep working on the thing that I'm working on and see it to its fruition before I do a fucking reset, you know? And so Mareep was like level 76 when the fucking guys that we were fighting were like level 50 and they were still struggling to be relevant. And I was enjoying that. Get him, Mareep! You little sheep! You little shock him! Shock him! Oh, you're almost dead! Come back! Are you okay? You're so precious.
My poor baby.
You're so precious. Berserker, get out there and fucking Iron Head right now.
Fight him for real. Yeah.
Fucking crush him!
That is like the ultimate being an adult in the Pokemon universe is like, oh, here, you can fight my little guy. And then they knock out your little guy and it's like, hey, don't hurt my little guy. You got to fight my real guy now.
Sword stance!
Yeah.
Berserker, sword stance!
Swords dance, swords dance, sweep.
Yeah. Sword stance 2 times. That's enough to kill everyone.
Yeah.
Kill you all.
Yeah. I did that Nuzlocke experience that changed the way that I play Pokemon forever. Having to that something in my little kid brain like awoke and broke my heart when I had to take Diglett and release it and it was like dead.
I can't believe
to
you
me.
released it.
And I was like,
put it in the box.
that broke my heart, man. I was like, like I went back into Erica's gym and I wiped the floor with them. I was like, screw you guys. You guys are all assholes. You made my little kid avatar cry.
Yeah.
You're all jerks.
You fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah, who paralyzes raps and stun spore or paralyze or not paralyzed, what is it? Poison spores. A little kid, you jerks. They say to a 37-year-old man.
Folks, he's talking about Gen 1 and the Bellsprout.
They killed me.
Not to mention an Ekans that you can run into, I believe, around Mount Moon. I think it's an Ekans.
Yeah, that just randomly has rap.
And it'll just wrap you to death.
Yeah. Or you go up in the northeast corner, there's just the Voltorbs and Electrodes that have
just explosion
self-destruct and explosion,
self-destruct.
And they're faster than anybody on anybody's team. Great.
The fastest fuckest boys who... I never really thought about it until you were talking about Voltorb and Electrode yesterday. And I was like,
yeah,
that's my brand. like so fast and then kill yourself. I love it.
Playing through with those restrictions changed the way that I view the game, because I played those games the way that every kid plays those games. I level my starter to level 100. They wipe the floor with everybody, and then I have 5 other scrubs that I was like, oh, you look cool. Jump on the team.
Charizard Flamethrower. It's a fire type. Charizard Flamethrower.
Yeah. And when you can't rely on that anymore, you have a level cap and you have item restrictions and you have healing restrictions. That makes the game scary, like really scary.
Real quick.
And those Gen 1 games are not fair or polite. They kick your butt.
Well,
yeah.
They were made in a different time when holding your hand was not a thing. Anyway, before we push into an hour on a completely different topic, because I would sit here and talk about Generation 1 Pokemon 1 through all the way to the now, and talk about different ways to play them to make them exciting to someone who's mastered them.
Okay.
We need to wrap it up.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Okay, I guess we'll see you later. Whatever. Come back again. We're gonna play some video games. Want to play? I'm not gonna play Tears of the Kingdom. No, I'm playing Yes 8 right now. I'm trying to finish that.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go play Chapter 3 of Red Dead.
Yeah. Okay. 100 hours.
Yeah. See you in 100 hours.
Okay. To give him the thing.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya. No,
Bye.
I'm gonna do it. See ya.